Well, hey there, and welcome to the Clear English Corner. I'm Keenyn, your personal American English pronunciation coach. Well, 2020 has been an interesting year, right? And it's only going to continue to be interesting. There's a lot of conversations happening in the US centered around politics and political issues. We're also just a few months away from a presidential election, so I thought now would be a great time to talk about the pronunciation of 20 common political words. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the lesson, where I'll talk about the pronunciation of one of the most confusing words in the English language. Sound like a plan? All right, let's dive in. First word, candidate. Candidate. We've got 3 syllables here, emphasis on the first syllable and the a as in black sound, candidate. Now when that a comes before a n or an m sound, it makes it sound a little different. Can, candidate. You'll also hear candidate, candidate, with more of a full A sound in that final syllable. Either one of these pronunciations is totally fine. Candidate or candidate. Didate. Those double D's, 2 quick syllables in a row, are kind of tricky to pronounce. Didate. So sometimes you'll also hear candidate, where that first D actually drops away. Candidate. Which candidate is your favorite? Which candidate is your favorite? I've heard he's a potential candidate for president. I've heard he's a potential candidate for president. President. Let's talk about that word. President. 3 syllables in this word as well. Our emphasis is on that first syllable and the e as in red vowel. That S is going to sound like a Z, so it's not precedent. President. That NT at the end of this word is going to sound like president. Or you can do a very soft released T at the end of this word as well. President. What you don't want is a really heavy released T, like president. Okay, so go with the soft T or the NT sound in the nose, which I talk about more in this lesson. She's decided to run for president. She's decided to run for president. The president will address the nation this evening. The president will address the nation this evening. But what about this word? Presidential. Notice how the stress shifts from the first syllable to the third. Presidential. We're going to emphasize that e as in red in the third syllable, and then that suffix shul. SH sound right into the dark L. Presidential. There's a presidential election this November. He's a strong presidential candidate. Number 3, governor. 3 syllables here, emphasis on the first syllable and the as in plum vowel sound. Governor. Then our second syllable is going to sound like a schwa, v, very quick, ner, and an unstressed sound in our third syllable. Governor. Who's the governor of Texas? He received a pardon from the governor. Number 4, mayor. So interestingly enough, our vowel sound in this word is actually the e as in red vowel rolling in or gliding into a soft sound. Mayor. This word actually rhymes with words like fair, care, pair, mayor. The city has a new mayor. Many people disagree with the mayor's decision. Number 5, election. election. 3 syllables here, emphasis on the second syllable, and that eh is in red vowel sound, election. Our first syllable is going to be super quick, as is our third syllable, election, shin. A quick sh into the n consonant, shin, shin, election, election. What are the final election results? What are the final election results? Local elections will take place in May. Local elections will take place in May. Number 6, vote, vote. Now here, you want to make sure that prominent sound is the O as in rose vowel sound. The tendency a lot of times is to pronounce this sound too short. So it's going to sound like vote, vote. You want to round the lips out and give this sound extra length, extra stretch. O, vote, vote. Make sure that you've got that V consonant at the beginning of this word, that it's not mingling with a W sound. You want those top teeth on the resting gently on the inside of your bottom lip. Vote, vote. Now I'm holding the T at the end of that word, vote. The air is actually coming up into my throat and stopping here for the T, vote. Or you can do a soft released T, vote, vote. You'll definitely hear both of those. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote. When we add the ER, this word becomes voter, voter. Notice that T becomes a flap T, which sounds like a soft D, voter, voter. That second syllable is going to be very soft and light, der, der, voter. Are you a registered voter? Are you a registered voter? This is something every eligible voter needs to be aware of. This is something every eligible voter needs to be aware of. Number 7, campaign. Campaign. 2 syllables here, emphasis on the second syllable and the A as in gray vowel sound. Campaign. That letter G in there doesn't do anything, totally silent. And our first syllable is going to be the A as in black vowel, chem, chem, into the M consonant. It's not stressed, but it's not reduced to a schwa sound. It's just flat compared to our emphasized stretched vowel sound in our second syllable. Campaign, campaign. It's that contrast between the quicker first syllable and that emphasized second syllable that gives that word its more natural sound. Campaign, campaign. The protests are part of a campaign against discrimination. The protests are part of a campaign against discrimination. Campaign funding has become a significant issue. Campaign funding has become a significant issue. Number 8, Congress. Congress. 2 syllables here, emphasis on the first syllable and the ah as in olive vowel sound. Congress. Then that N is going to be an ing sound. Ing, kong, kong. Then we go into a GR consonant cluster at the beginning of the second syllable. Gris, gris. Congress, Congress. Congress has rejected the president's proposal. Congress has rejected the president's proposal. She served 2 terms in Congress. She served 2 terms in Congress. Number 9, senator. Senator. 3 syllables here. Emphasis on the first syllable and the as in red vowel sound. Very quick schwa, second syllable, senator. Then our T becomes a flap T, sounding like a quick D. Again, that final syllable is going to be very soft. Senator, senator. The majority of senators opposed it. The majority of senators opposed it. Each state has 2 senators. Each state has 2 senators. Number 10, representative. Representative. Here we have 5 syllables, and the emphasis is on the third syllable. Representative. It's the E as in red vowel sound, and that S is going to sound like a Z. representative, representative. Now you might notice that that first T sound is falling away. It's vanishing. A lot of times when the T comes after the N consonant in an unstressed syllable, you'll hear it vanish. It just disappears. Representative, representative. You'll also a lot of times hear this final T in this word sound like a flap T. So it'll sound like representative, representative, like a quick D. Either pronunciation is going to sound very natural and totally correct. Who's the representative from your district? Who's the representative from your district? The U.S. Congress includes the Senate and the House of Representatives. The U.S. Congress includes the Senate and the House of Representatives. Number 11, debate. Debate. 2 syllables here. First syllable, very quick and short, with our second syllable being emphasized, and the A is in gray sound is our most prominent sound. Debate. Debate. Again, I'm holding the T at the end of this word. The air is coming up into my throat, stopping here in the throat. Debate as the vocal cords come together. Or you can do a gently released T here. Debate, debate. The issue has caused considerable debate. The issue has caused considerable debate. Congress debated for hours with no resolution. Debated. Debated. Notice how when I add the past tense ed ending on that word, that final T becomes a flap T, and it sounds like debated, debated, debated. Congress debated for hours with no resolution. Number 12, national, national. 3 syllables here, emphasis on the first syllable and the A as in black vowel sound. National. Our second and third syllables are going to be very quick in contrast to that emphasized first syllable. National, national. We've got an N consonant into the dark L sound at the end of this word. Null, null, national. She's too young to vote in the national election. She's too young to vote in the national election. The event made the national news. The event made the national news. Number 13, international, international. We've got 5 syllables here. Our emphasis on that third syllable and the A as in black. International, national. So again, very quick 4th and 5th syllable, and our 1st and 2nd syllable very quick as well. International, international. Now you'll also hear this word pronounced international, inner, where that T sound is again vanishing after that N consonant when the T comes at the beginning of the unstressed syllable. International, international. You can really go either way with how you pronounce this word, whatever feels easiest for you. International, international. The government has signed an international agreement. The government has signed an international agreement. The election has gained international attention. The election has gained international attention. Number 14, Democrat, Democrat. We've got 3 syllables here, emphasis on that first syllable and the E as in red vowel sound. Democrat. Then we've got a schwa in that second syllable and a very quick third syllable as well. Democrat, Democrat. I believe he's a Democrat. I believe he's a Democrat. Now listen to what happens when we add the suffix, the IC suffix. Democratic, democratic. Here we have 4 syllables and our stress shifts, if I can get my words out, our stress shifts to the third syllable. Democratic, democratic, and the A as in black vowel sound. Democratic. You'll notice too that that T is sounding like a quick D. It turns into a flap T. Democratic. She's a strong candidate for the Democratic Party. She's a strong candidate for the Democratic Party. What is the true definition of a democratic government? What is the true definition of a democratic government? Number 15, Republican. Republican. 4 syllables here with our emphasis on the second syllable and the as in plum vowel sound. Republican. We've got a very quick schwa, that first syllable, that R-E, r, r, Republican. Very quick third and fourth syllable as well. That final syllable sounding just like a K sound and N squished up together. Can. Republican. Republican. Who's the candidate for the Republican Party? Who's the candidate for the Republican Party? He's always voted Republican. He's always voted Republican. Number 16, conservative. Conservative. We've got 4 syllables here with our emphasis on the second syllable and the as in purple sound. Conservative. That first syllable, that C-O-N, is going to be a schwa. Very quick, then another schwa, very quick, vdiv. Conservative. Again, it's that contrast between those quicker first, third, and fourth syllables contrasted with that emphasized and stretched vowel sound in the second syllable that gives this word its more natural rhythm and flow. Conservative. You'll also notice that that T in the final syllable sounds like a quick D. It's a flap T. Conservative. Conservative. Her views are distinctly conservative. Her views are distinctly conservative. Do you consider yourself more conservative or liberal? Do you consider yourself more conservative or liberal? And that brings us to number 17, liberal. Liberal. We've got 3 syllables here with our emphasis on that first syllable and the I as in silver vowel sound. Liberal. Liberal. Our second syllable is a super quick sound, moving then into the dark L. Liberal. Liberal. That second syllable is so quick that a lot of times what you'll hear some people say is liberal. Liberal with 2 syllables. Liberal. Liberal. His political leanings are more liberal. His political leanings are more liberal. This issue is more than liberal versus conservative. This issue is more than liberal versus conservative. Number 18, moderate. Moderate. 3 syllables here, emphasis on the first syllable and the as in olive. Moderate. Moderate. Again, that second and third syllable are going to be a lot quicker in contrast. Durit, durit. Moderate. We're going to get an unstressed in that second syllable. Durit, durit. And then the last syllable just sounds like the word it really quickly. Durit. Moderate. Moderate. She's well known for her moderate opinions. She's well known for her moderate opinions. He's more moderate than most of his peers. He's more moderate than most of his peers. Number 19. Extremist. Extremist. So we've got 3 syllables here, and our emphasis is on the second syllable and the E as in green vowel sound. Extremist. Careful with that letter X. The letter X is going to sound like 2 consonant sounds coming together here. It's going to sound like the K and the S sound. X, X. You want to make sure that you're getting both of those sounds in there. Extremist. Extremist. That's a well-known extremist group. That's a well-known extremist group. His views are considered extremist. His views are considered extremist. And finally, number 20, a word that makes no sense to me pronunciation-wise, so I'm sure is confusing for you as well. How do you say this word? Colonel. Colonel. The pronunciation definitely doesn't match our spelling here, but this word is going to sound just like Kernel, as in kernel of corn. Although it definitely looks like there should be 3 syllables in this word, there's only 2. Emphasis on the first syllable and the as in purple sound, cur, and then our second syllable is the N consonant and the dark L mushed up together. Null, null, kernel, kernel. Yeah, I know. Definitely one of those words that you would never guess the pronunciation just by looking at it. But it's really a lot easier to say than you might have thought. Colonel. He retired as a colonel in the U.S. Army. He retired as a colonel in the U.S. Army. The colonel had a kernel stuck in his teeth. The colonel had a kernel stuck in his teeth. And there you have it, 20 super common political words clarified. Hopefully that clarification will help you feel more confident using these words in conversation. Come on by to the Clear English Corner website for a list of all the practice words and sentences used in this lesson, as well as tons of other free practice resources. I hope you found the lesson helpful. If you did, please be sure to share with friends. As always, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.